Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says there's an international campaign being waged against this country to blacken its name.
It is not connected to our actions. It is connected to our very existence. It does not matter what we do. It matters what we symbolize and what we are.
Just this week, the CEO of French mobile phone giant Orange said he would cut ties with the Israeli operating company here, one of Israel's largest, as soon as possible. Earlier this week, Britain's National Union of Students voted to boycott Israel and affiliate with the BDS movement. The same group voted against the resolution last year, condemning the terrorist actions of ISIS. This is all part of the Boycott, Divestment, and Sanctions Movement, or BDS. The goal, punish Israel by encouraging artists, companies, academia, countries, and even churches to boycott its products, divest from its companies, and impose sanctions on the Jewish state. They claim that this will help end what they call injustice against Palestinians. Critics believe BDS aims to do much more. BDS expert Iran Shaishon says the clear agenda is to tarnish Israel's reputation.
What the BDS is trying to do is to create an anti-Israeli spirit of the times, namely to negatively brand Israel, so to associate it with the former regime of South Africa. Clearly such equation is false.
Will Roth is an Austrian-born Jew and CEO of the Israel-Europe Freedom Center. He says this campaign has gone beyond words.
When you go to certain areas, unfortunately, especially in Belgium and in Sweden, if you'll just have a yarmulke, not to say have some good word about Israel, there will be slurs upon slurs, and usually they will be violent at the end.
But while BDS is sweeping Europe, it is slower to take hold in the U.S. Ross says that's in part because Europeans become intoxicated by ideas, while Americans tend to fight back. The Presbyterian Church USA ended business connections with companies dealing with Israel, and the U.S. State Department boycotts cutting-edge cancer research at the Israeli Ariel University because it's in Samaria, also called the West Bank. Pink Floyd's Roger Waters openly criticizes artists who perform in Israel, but some like Eric Clapton, Dionne Warwick, and Alan Parsons performed in Israel anyway. American actress Scarlett Johansson faced protests due to her endorsement of SodaStream, an Israeli company with Jewish and Arab workers based in an Israeli settlement. According to Shaishon, Israel fights an uphill battle because the other side plays by different rules.
While we try to explain our position and use facts, they do branding, and this is a completely different field. When they shoot from Gaza, we said, well, they started and they showed apartheid. There's a mismatch between the strategies and the responses, and that's our problem. We don't understand the battle.
And in this battle, Roth says, American Christians are among the biggest Israel supporters. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.